guys, just wanted to start this podcast off by first saying thank you so much for coming back for part 2 of Relationship Goals. Our very first video, episode 1, just reached over 1,000 views. So thank you guys so much. Everybody who has subscribed, liked, commented, shared, offered feedback, we love it and we appreciate you guys so much. Also, before we get the show started, we wanted to highlight our business of the week. Lester is all over. Lester owns a Ruby Soul Food restaurant, and we'll tell you like he would. Google any Ruby Soul Food restaurant nearest you. The food is absolutely amazing. Lester is also a gospel artist, so you can download his music wherever music is sold. Check it out in the description box. And finally, one thing closest to Lester's heart is the Kingdom of God. He belongs to Kingdom Citizens International Ministries in Chicago, Illinois. That's 325 South California in Chicago, and their services start at 8 a.m. with lead pastor Lawrence Henderson. We want to say thank you to Mr. Real Talk, Lester, for holding down the table and bringing topics that are thought-provoking and meaningful. In part 2, Lester does not fail. So grab your popcorn, your bonnet, just kidding, some water, and enjoy the show. Now let's get brewing. Welcome to episode number 15 of
What's Brewing, Sis?
I'm Shelly.
I'm Bianca.
And I'm Deonna. And here we come together to stir the brew.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We are back for part number 2. This conversation is getting really, really good. We are so glad you guys are back for episode 15. Lester has, he got lots to talk about.
Yes, a lot of real talk.
Yes.
So we
sharing
had to,
the male perspective.
Absolutely. We had to break this one up because it was getting good. We was going through a lot of his messages and posts and stuff like that.
What do you guys think so far? Do you think he's living up and giving good reason behind the answers to his questions so far?
I think so. I think he's really sharing light on his perspective, and I won't say all men think the same, but I've heard stuff like this from other guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate him breaking the male code and sharing the secret.
Yes.
I hope they don't get jumped at this.
and Pastor G said that. Said that. And no, I don't think that they will. I think this is great conversation, like Lester said. Or will say in part number 2, that he loves the dynamic of just hearing these things finally being brought to the table, because a lot of things that came up too is like our culture thinks a certain way, or our culture is used to things going a certain pattern. So I think we're here to change that pattern.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
so good about that.
Definitely breaking the code and creating a conversation and communication between the genders.
Yeah.
So
stay around.
Yeah. Let's see what
we about
Mr.
to
Real Talk had to say.
We got to get back in.
Let's get into it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Real talk.
Real talk.
So stop counseling yourself. You can't solve problems on the same level you created them on.
I like
you
these
need
folks.
help.
Yeah, stop it. You're not your. See, if I use my wisdom or my own intellect to create my problems, I am now sitting here, the person who created them, and saying, well, now let me outthink myself out of my problems. Whatever the level of wisdom I was that I thought I knew, or what I thought I knew and what I thought I had clarity on, clearly caused confusion. So why would I go back to my confused wisdom or intellect or whatever it is that I use to make the decision and be like, well, now I'll figure it out. No. And I think we don't surrender this. We need to surrender this to help. It's okay. I mean, people literally need to start hollering for help because help is available. That's one of my pastor quotes. Help is available and God wants to help you. I mean, not just God. He will send people in your life to help you. But I believe that God does not force himself into you. I got scripture to back it up. It says that, behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if you'll let me in, I stand waiting to help you. If you will allow me to help you, help is available. And many people have not got to a clear place to say, I don't know it all. I don't know. I don't have it all together. This does not make you little. This is what is the platform that God wants to use to grow you and blow you up. Like literally, he wants you to say, God, I'm not okay, and I need help. And that is a full prayer that we need to start releasing immediately and faster. Hey, God, I'm struggling with finances. I'm not okay. I need help. And that is a direct prayer from the heart because it denounces what you thought you knew and that you need a wisdom that is outside. Last scripture. The Bible says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, and he gives freely. In wisdom is help. And so I need help. I am big with that. So I think that is the case of that. You need help, and you need to be okay saying that. That needs to become the norm. You could be sitting right next to a person who could change your life or help you with a word of wisdom or leading you into something. But if you never say you need help, and you just sit there and we bask in that, like basking. I mean, struggling, but won't say, I don't know what to do or I'm lost. Help me. You know what I'm saying? So,
I've been guilty of it several times.
Me too. It's not. Me too.
It comes along with pride. It comes before destruction because ego, pride, all that gets in the way of seeking, asking, obtaining for help.
Yeah. And I think I like your point. You said that doesn't make you little.
Yeah. Doesn't make you little.
Yeah.
You're bigger. You're big. You're a big. I put on. I don't know if y'all seen the post, but I put that on my page. This world is not big enough for me. So to have a world that is trying to dominate you, it's not going to win. You just got to know who you are and be sure in yourself. But I believe that we serve a big God, which means I'm big because I'm his child. So
yeah,
absolutely.
We'll probably do a couple more. I know you got to go.
Whatever you guys. Let's do it.
The only people who get upset when you set boundaries are the ones that benefited from you not having any. And I see this a lot in relationships.
That is huge. That is huge. Yeah, that is huge. I mean, many people these are not people who will come and knock at your boundaries or the lack of boundary and say, hey, is it okay if I cross? These are people who trespass into areas of your life because and won't even tell you that they've trespassed. That's one thing. They opened your gate and came up on your porch and they opening your front door. You're breaking into a place that I didn't give you freedom to come into. And so, without proper boundary, when you decide to set boundaries is when people have a problem because they were winning or gaining something just having space in your mind or space in your life in some area, whether you're getting $5 and $10 from you all the time. The minute you say, no, it doesn't fit in my budget, I can't do that, man, you're going to get some kickback like crazy because they've gotten, this is going to be good. They've got codependent on your lack of boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you set them boundaries, it's like, wait a minute, that's not how we started. You can't go setting boundaries.
Who are you?
And they don't even believe that the boundaries are uniquely from you. Like somebody must have told
you. Especially when you start talking about, well, we're not having sex no more. Hold on. You're not what? Oh, you messing with somebody else. Some other guy didn't got involved in something of that nature. Now, why? Because I am about to lose access. And that's what the boundary part is. They just want to have, it's so many people that will not say it, but they love access to you in your life. They love knowing your business. Even if you just stop telling them your business, they'll ask you, what's going on? We ain't been talking in a while. Ma'am, I don't want to put you in my business no more. Clearly, I'm starting to hear from somebody else that you telling them my business or whatever it is. Yeah. And the minute you set a boundary in place to seclude yourself or find safety just in your secret circle or your own self, whatever it is, they're going to have a problem with it. And then the people who were trespassing all along.
Yeah, it's even as deep as a text message read. Some people are like, oh, she ain't read my text message yet. It's just so important. I think I've learned the hard way, definitely. But you have to set those boundaries to start.
Because if you don't, people will walk all over them. And I think sometimes to kind of, if you don't set the boundaries and people can walk all over you, they will. Not that they're the enemy and they're out to get you. Sometimes if you just don't set it, people will walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about when you were talking about access? And I don't know, maybe there's some women that are like this too, but I find, or I can recall, that it seems like some men just want the access, whether they actually utilize it or not. They just want the access. So then if you take the access away, they might come around a little harder just to regain the access, but really once they feel like they got the access again, they're gonna fall back, or whatever caused them to lose access in the
Your
first place.
Yeah, real talk. We want access. Let me tell. We love access, and we don't. This is why a guy who I may not be with, he'll come back want to sleep with you. It ain't that he really wants you, because he had you. If y'all were together, he had an opportunity. He had access. The problem now is we have an innate nature to want what we can't have. Mm-hmm. Paul said that every time I desired to do good, evil was always present. Mm-hmm. So what I shouldn't do, I want to do. So like, even if you tell me no, the chase is on. We love the chase. That is something hidden in us. We love it. And so the minute you saying no, it's like we want it more, and we want to come after it, and we want access. We love. I preached a sermon about access before, a couple of years ago, about keys. If you ever start studying people keys, they have keys to doors they don't even have access. They don't even use anymore. Look on the key ring. Why your keys look like a janitor? I mean, like, what do all your keys go to? And that's how we are spiritually, and that's how we are naturally. There's some things that have access to you, because we like access, but we don't like setting off access. We get access to everything, but why you don't ask for your key back? Like, I want my key back. You can't come back. I'm locking this door. But we want to have access to old apartments. You can still look on your key ring and see them. Why? Because why do you want even though you're not using the key, you still want the access. And so we do that as men. No, I'm being honest. We do it. We men. Or this is I have a quote. This is my own created quote. It's a Mr. Real Talk quote. Whenever necks show up, because we talking about relationships, let me input this. Let me slide this in. Anytime your neck show up, your ex show back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anytime next show up, the ex show up. Yeah. So it's like a phone call went out and said, "Hey, she about to move on, so you probably want to go back and try to see if you can go back." He now is in a full-fledged chase, or let him see you moving forward, and you're about to like leave, or they time start getting diminished. Here they come. They coming.
I literally thought there was a smell that went off or something, because that statement couldn't be more true.
I just don't understand the purpose of that stuff. This woman ain't for you. That's the reason why you're not with her. Mm-hmm. So what? She's moved on. Why do you still want this access?
Territorial nature of men, like puppies. Once they,
he in the spot.
That's their spot.
That's it. And look, remember I said I was a lion. Remember that I said in the beginning. That lion does not, if he can smell that something is approaching his pride or his territory, all bets off. It's fight time, and I'm willing to put my life on the line for it. All because of access. But some.
Oh, we lost you, Lester.
You're back.
Say something.
No.
So we'll try to get Lester back in, but great conversation going on so far.
Yeah.
I think we were just about to get into the crux of the crux. We got you?
You back?
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I was trying to say the truth of the matter is that lion shows up. Like I said about the lion, he's so protective and so dominant. And man, when you show up and that man feels like it's his, even if he doesn't want it, he wants to make sure. Remember, the lion in the pride is the one who wants to sleep with all the women in the pride.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so he don't want the other boys or nobody touching his women. And so we are. They may not say it this way, but we are that way.
Now, with maturity, does that eventually go away?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, once he gets to a point where he knows, and he should ultimately be looking for his own pride. That's what he want to
Yeah.
protect, and that's what the ultimate goal is. But for immature men or immature these people are dating in that area, they just want access to you. They really just want the cookie. They really just want to, whether it's sex, they just want sex. They don't, because if you were the choice, you would not be the choice. I don't know if I said that right.
Right.
Are the
That
choice,
makes sense.
okay, you are not the choice, because remember, if you're my pride and I want you, I'm coming to get you, and there's nothing that could, like, I'm gonna make sure you know you're mine. No
Yeah.
man unsure. If he act like he's unsure, you're not it. That's as simple as that.
Well,
You act like
I know we
time,
get
you probably tell yourself, I need to reevaluate this because he don't need that much time. He just got multiple options on the table and he don't want to settle in with you. You're really not the choice, but he loves the access to you. It may be your car, it could be money. You give him your blessing, and you could be an amazing person. This is gonna tell. I know this is telling too much probably, but you could be an amazing woman, and we will like to have 3 or 4 keys, because you're not a person who gonna bother me with, you don't need all my time, or you don't. That's why people mess with married women. You don't need much from them. You know what I'm saying? They like to date them. Well, it's okay, because she's gonna go home with her guy, and I can still come over here. Access, big thing. And so we need more ladies to say, no, you can't. You're not coming back. Go home. You didn't want me. That is it. More men, or whatever the situation is. You want access to me, and you don't deserve it. And so because of that, I'm locking his door, and I'm changing the locks. I don't even care if you keep the key. You can't get back up in here.
Yeah.
Stop trying to expect what you didn't communicate. Then got the nerves to be upset.
Yeah. The false expectations. I've been really like looking at this more as expectations. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a hope that comes with expectations. But the problem is you didn't even tell me about your expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You established what you were expecting, and you had the right to expect. And so if you're going to come from me when I didn't even know it was expected, it's the difference if we had a clarity or a conversation and communicated. You communicate your expectations. Now I just choose to not want to match or do whatever it is, But if I've not said it, and you gonna get upset with what you didn't tell me about, I got a problem with that. You got to let me know what your expectations are. Why are you here? What do you want to do? Why are you in my life? Like, what is the expectation? What do you want from me? And now I can make a decision, an adult, mature decision, to decide if I want to meet, if that meeting the expectation fits into my purpose or my direction or my where I am on my way to. And if that does, then I don't mind. But don't give me your false expectation or your one that was not stated, and now you're looking for it. I just watched the video today. This guy flew this girl out to Florida or something. He just spent about $5,000 on her, and he never told her. So he was like, I spent all this money on her. You know what I'm saying? And I flew her out. I'm like, okay. But the point that I caught was she said, we never established that that's what's gonna happen. And now he mad because he just spent $5,000 on a false expectation that he just assumed was gonna happen and didn't happen. Bro, you never told her that this is what the plan was, because you could have clarified that before we got on the plane. If that's what you're gonna do. Hey, this is what I'm expecting. Are you okay with this? Okay, yeah. Now I know I have an agreement and I understand it, but without the agreement or you
spending that kind of money, if you ain't got communication and you just got money and you reckless.
I feel like a lot of people are fearful to communicate. They feel like if I say what I want, he's gonna not be there. She's not gonna be accepting of it. I think it works both ways, but I think people are afraid to communicate. And it's like, if you communicate in the beginning, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of frustration, a lot of,
or at least that's the hope. Because some people lie, and, they'll say, yeah, that they're going to do all these things that you lay out as your expectation list or whatever, but they still really just want the access. Mm-hmm. So, but at least you can say, I communicated that this is what I expected and what I wanted. And then when you don't measure up, you can't say I blindsided you with this expectation.
That's why I think God has people for us. Like, I think God has a specific person set for you, and it's just a matter of if you want to lead your life towards this person, you will find them. I think all of the things that we're talking about, yes, they're great things that you should know. But for me, I don't know. I just feel like it could be a lot easier if you build that relationship with God, do the things that you need to do to get yourself centered so you can meet that person, so you don't have to go through all of this. Because
what is all of this? I think even if you meet somebody, like say if your list includes somebody being a God-fearing man, respectful, things like that. You can meet someone at church. He could be preaching in the pulpit, and to you, that's like, yes, that's him. But the Bible also tells you to beware. Like, people present, or they let you know as much as they want you to know. So, when you first meet somebody, their representative is out. Everybody's going to be their very best self.
Right.
But like Lester said, that's why you need to know them through the different seasons of, see how they are really, which, like he said, can happen sooner or later. But I think there is a time frame in which you've known enough of a person, like, and if it's like, oh, they still haven't revealed enough of themselves to me, then that too is a reason to move on. Because if you're not allowing me to see who you are over an extended period of time, then we may never get there. So, but
I definitely agree. I believe that that the time frame of that, like, you don't have to go and make these happen.
It doesn't have to be like,
they're naturally going to happen through life and living. And the part that we don't do is there's something in you that says this is not it. But we go beyond. We love to tread water on an area that's too deep. Like, you want to go and try to tread in 14 feet, but you trained in 3. You ain't really ready until you need to tread. Stay in the 3. If you want to go to 4 a little bit, maybe there's a process up, but to go just dive into something, and I think we know. I just believe there's something in you that speaks, and I believe it's the Holy Spirit. But there is, you may call it your intuition. Women have an intuition. That is a hot thing, intuition factor, and but you want to make a thing right when you ultimately know it's not, or it's not wrong. And the consequences of that, I guarantee you, it'll lead to a heartbreak.
Yeah. I have a couple more. Stop waiting on the right person when you're not a right person. It sounds like premeditated divorce.
I'm just saying.
This is one of my faves.
Everybody has the factor of what they believe, who the right person is, but the right person for you is when you're the right person. Like, I just don't look for something. If you're out chasing it, why don't you chase you? Chase the best version of yourself. Date yourself first. Make sure you're right. Make sure you properly. You know what I'm saying? I think we have too many premature daters. That's why if you hear anybody talk relationship, they say the dating pool is terrible. It's pee in it. If you ever heard that, real talk.
Yeah.
Well, why? Because we are prematurely trying to date, and you trying to give me your brokenness, your pieces that you still not over your baby dad, or you still not over this person. You still dealing with, who you were talking to, or what happened to you when you were younger, or your dad, or whatever. And you're not right. You're not literally in a right position, because I don't want bits and pieces of you, and I'm giving 100%. I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
The Bible says, David said, created me a clean heart, renew the right spirit. That's a reset. And most people don't. To be a right person, you need a reset. Life happens. It's not. I'm not diminishing it. It happens. But you need to be able to hit the reset button. Even after a relationship, long 3 years, me, 13, 14 years of relationship, 15 years of relationship completely with children involved. You need to know how to press reset. I'm not just act like it's so easy that I did it. There's a process, and it takes time to get to that place. It took time to get to that place. But there's a reset button you need to hit in order so you can have a fresh palette, like a fresh layout, or make yourself a fresh canvas. Because dating is let me see. That's what dating is. Let me see. I don't know. I want to. But in the part of the divorce, divorce is death. And so, like, if I'm gonna bring a wrong me and ask for a right you, it just don't work out. It's never gonna work out. And so marriage, we don't say this much, but marriage is death. That doesn't mean death like dying, and because if that's the case, then the Bible wouldn't say to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord. So death has a passing that offers an amazingness also, like the next life or whatever that is, whatever your spiritual belief may be. So marriage is the death because you have to, it's not just your way. It's not your selfishness. It's not just about you. And so if you're going to come in a wrong person, then you are premeditating divorce. Like you're premeditating setting yourself up to manifest divorce, but you say you want marriage. And so I think we do that many of us do that all the time. And premeditated means there's a calculation that takes place. There is, you're weighing all the options. And this is what we do when we become our own therapists and think we can help ourselves and fix ourselves. Yeah. I'm ready. Most of the time people say they're ready just because they let loneliness tell them when they're ready. I'm just lonely. Say that means I'm ready. That doesn't mean you're ready. Loneliness means you need to go back to your creator and get restored and be refreshed to go back into a dating pool or a dating relationship.
Yeah.
So, that's all correct.
Yeah, and it's okay to not be ready too.
Yeah, perfectly okay not to be ready.
Can I say one more thing about that? This is gonna be tough, but everybody was not built. You are built to be relational, but you're not in relationships. Everybody not a marriage person.
Yeah.
But Paul said, I wish that some of you will remain as you are, hiding in your singleness. Some of you, some of us, God has separated you for himself, like for you to just be there. We do not teach that, and that is not something that we, because we think everybody got somebody for somebody. Yeah, there is. Connected the people in purpose, but that don't mean everybody is built to be in a marriage. What
I often get, Lester, is when I say things like, "Oh, well, maybe marriage is just not going to happen for me. Maybe it might not happen." I get the, you gotta get married. Like it's almost like people feel sorry and sad for you. And not that I'm saying that is gonna be my life. I don't know. God is doing some amazing things in my life, so I'm open to all the love that could come with marriage. But if the life is possibly not getting married, I'm pretty happy. I'm a happy person now. I'm happy with what he's showing me and the doors that he's opening up for me. And if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Like, while marriage is great, it's not, and it's a goal. It's not going to.
It doesn't mean that you won't have a blessed, a full, a productive life if you're not married.
Yeah.
However, I think if
however me.
No. I'm saying if marriage is something that you strongly desire, you should first seek the kingdom of God, and his righteousness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Mm-hmm. If that's your heart's desire, God is not going to withhold something from you that is, a blessing to you. So I just don't there are those who even use scripture to manipulate a situation, to say, that wordplay can then allow you to give space to foolery. Is all I'm saying. So
I would hit it, so you can say that.
But that's also then though to say that person is relying on what their mate is saying. Like if say I'm dating someone and that person is saying, no, I don't want to get married right now, and these are my reasons why, and I also feel like I don't want to either. Like that's okay. Like it's okay.
It is okay, but not if you want to do marital things. You want to do all the things that was sanctified in marriage, but you don't want to be married. Like that's the problem. There are people who are fine without being married and has attributed their life to be of service to God and They're able to do, all the things that, because when you, like, before I was married, I was able to do more in ministry without having to consider, my family, my husband, my kids. I could go to 4 services on a Sunday if I wanted to, because there was nobody that needed me to get them ready for school the next day. So if you are committed to serving God and you feel like that is your assignment and purpose, and you don't desire the things that come with marriage, then yes, you could, live your life that way. But if you want me to be having sex with you, sharing my time with you, honoring you as my partner, submitting to you, doing all these things that was in the confines of marriage, then you're playing games. Like, what are you really saying? You want access without commitment. You want rites of passage that you haven't paid for.
No. Well, I was just talking about not wanting to get married. Like, if that's okay.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Does that mean I can freely have sex unmarried? Am I we're life partners?
So let me offer this.
What does that really mean? Like, what are we really saying when we say?
I hear you. Yeah. Let me offer this. So I've been married. My husband passed away. I have said after that I will never get married again. My husband I felt like was my person, right? Mm-hmm. I'm changing my mind on that now. But if I end up with somebody and we're together and we are life partners and we're together 30 years and we got all the paperwork together, like, if something happens to me, you in charge, all that stuff, do I have to be married?
If that's like getting the confines of marriage without actually being married. So what are we saying? Are we saying we're basing our life on spiritual and biblical principles, or are we out here doing what we want to do? Because I might not want to do certain things, but it's like, what does God say about that? Am I dismissing that this is how it's supposed to be done and doing it my way? I mean, we could all say, we Frank Sinatra, we out here doing it our way. But what does that? There's many pros and cons, benefits and consequences that come along with that. And I just, I do want all that God has for me. And I just feel like that's not.
What if God don't have it? What if God was like, that was the marriage you had? And you ain't had no more?
No, that's fine. I mean, my aunt lost her husband at like 34 and she never married again. Mm-hmm. But she also did not entertain males at all. Like, if somebody tried to hit at her, she was like, no, like, this ain't that. So she felt like her husband was her person. He died young, and she was like, that was the love of my life. She raised her kids. She, was a devout Christian, and she taught Sunday school and all that, but she didn't even entertain the idea of dating because she was like, that portion of my life is over. Now, there's not many women today that are really willing to be like, I'm going to sanctify myself and just be living for God, and not, having sex or entertaining the idea of being in a relationship, in a loving, like, man-woman relationship. There's some, but not many. Most of us feel like, and we thank God for grace that we can pick and choose what we. So for me, I'm saying it's either all truth or all a lie. Right. I'm not saying that God's wanting me to pay my tithes and offerings, but He okay if I'm just having sex with somebody and we're not committed to.
I mean, one thing I think for me, I would never tell somebody is like, you are here and you've been in this situation for your period of time, so now you should be looking for this, and now you should be asking for this. People don't know what goes on behind closed doors with people. You only know what your people are telling you, right? But there is some intimacy behind a closed door, conversations that you have with people that you will never be able to hear. So my thought process is, I'm never going to push somebody and say, oh, year number 3, that's the time. Now it's time y'all got to do y'all thing. If God has something for, he's saying this is for me, if this is the situation that I have laid out for you, that's okay. Like, you be, I think more people have to be in your relationship, be in your space, be in what you know what is right for you. But if God is calling if God is calling me for something else, let that be my space. You know, give me that space. Don't give me Bible all the time. Don't push onto me what God could be telling me something totally different than what he's telling, you know, another individual. But that's my relationship. This is mine.
Right.
And no one should be able to tiptoe in your stuff to say, year number 3, oh yes, Tam. Year number 35, you should have already got your ring by now, girl. Like, no.
No, I don't set anybody's timeline, nor but I'm also saying we not, well, I'm not, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not Frank Sinatra. I don't want to do it my way. I don't challenge you to do it my way. I'm just asking anybody who says that they want to be in covenant with God to do it God's way. Read the Bible, search the Bible, ask for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for yourself. Ask God to reveal to you what it is that He wants you to do.
Things.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know, it says these are things that you have to know for yourself. So if you are unsure, if you are uncertain, God is the person who gives you the clarity. He's not the author of confusion. So anything that you lack clarity on,
seek it out.
Seek it out.
Yes, I'm fine.
It's a high topic.
I'm fine with everybody walking that.
I love it.
Like allow people to get that. Allow people to get that knowledge. So sometimes it's better when they find it out as opposed to you forcing that on them. And that's just my point. That's just my.
Yeah, I'm not trying to force.
And I'm not saying that you're forcing it on anyone. I'm just saying just keep that in mind when it is a conversation that comes up and it's like, oh girl, dang, you know, it's been some time. People are walking their path with
absolutely. Nor do I consider myself to have arrived or know everything or have all the answers, you know. Or, you know, I don't even ask anybody to bring themselves after me. I just say,
let's see if Lester wants to add something, guys. Lester, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah. Let me. Can I just be like a little more direct? I know it's different levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Direct, because I have, you know, whatever. I'm just eating. This is great. I love hearing perspectives of women is amazing to me. I love it. So, but I do believe that if you're relational, then God has separated you. Then if He separated you for not being married, then there's a peace in not having to worry about relationships. But if you are, there is the desire. If you know inside of you, there's something hitting you. There's an innate thing in you. Like for me, I know that I'm a husband. Why? Because even after my divorce, I've been divorced probably almost 6 years. I've never lost. I still, if I would come into a relationship with a person, I'm trying to figure out how to provide, not because, and I'm like, dang, I shouldn't do that. And I'm warring with that because it's my nature to be protective and providing and let me see just doesn't work for me. So I really have I'll be like, I hate dating. I got to get to know this and that and, you know, and whatever. Yeah. But if that's for you, and then you know that's in your heart, then He knows your heart. So if He knows your heart, it was not Adam saying, hey, it's not good that I should be alone. It was God that said it. And so if God said it, and then I guess we got to get to a basis also of what is your beliefs? What are you using to make your decisions on? Because for some people, you're your God. And so you allow yourself to be the high point of reasoning on the way you see it, the way you think it, and that's it. And if that's your case, cool. Then nobody will ultimately be able to offer you anything. Let me explain to Mr. Real Talk. I think this fits perfect for that. Mr. Real Talk was how I got delivered and saved and changed, because I have been religious, but my whole life I was raised up in church. You know, been fully in a relationship. On going to church, singing in the choir, preaching, whatever. I had did all these things. And I ultimately found myself in the worst situation in life. And it was not until I had a Mr. Real Talk moment. It was not the name. That's where it came from. The Holy Spirit released that to me. He taught me Him, or gave me a relationship with God through real talk. Like I was able to have a real talk moment with myself. And there's a story about the prodigal son in the Bible that says it was when he came to himself. That's where Mr. Real Talk. You have a moment where you literally come to yourself. And when you come to yourself, that is when you'll change. Nobody can make you, nobody will, no matter how much you do it. It is not until you come to yourself and say, and admit, I don't know. And I have just let me, like, this last part is, if you don't know, then why don't you stop? If you're not sure, don't do nothing. Why do you have to do anything? Why do you even want to flourish or flirt? Why are we having sex if you don't know? Then I don't know. So I'm not gonna have sex and I don't know. That would be foolish for me. I'm asking for the outcome or the consequence of whatever it is while you're not knowing. And so if you don't know, then let's wait till we know, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. But that is a trick. Let me insert that for you because I'm talking to three powerful ladies. Let me insert that. You don't let no man put you in a friend zone for sex and let nobody dominate or whatever that space is in your area or your life because they no. Excuse me. But I have this thing. I would love to say it, but I know, is this a religious show?
Please,
No,
it's not at all.
Let me say it my way because they're gonna hit it more than to me. It says, shit me. You're not gonna get a spot in my life for no reason. Like you're not just gonna be holding up space in my area, not with your indecisiveness or whatever that is. You gonna be sure about me, or you're not gonna be sure about me. And I'm so sure about me that I'm not allowing you to be in any place. And so your marriage is your desires in your heart. If it's there, and if it's like that it's you, then the person that God releases to you, when Adam opened his eyes, the Bible said he said it was bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. You don't have to question. He didn't get a chance to pick. It wasn't his preference. God clearly knew what he needed and he released it. And when it comes, you will know or you will not know. And that is I do understand, let me see for a season, but letting somebody drag you off into years of reciprocal things, and you having sex, now you're not being honest with yourself. You don't value yourself the way you think you do. Because if you value yourself the way you do, you'll set the standard and say, me and you could date all we want, and I can see other people too. You're not going to give me restrictions and boundaries that you're not willing to uphold. No. You're not eating the food unless you can pay the check at the end. And if the check, marry me and make sure that you can provide and take care. And if you can't, let me go. Too many people are depending on you or your life and the right things in life and doing things the right way. I'm taking the God factor out of it. Just doing things the right way will bring, and I do believe that for me, the right way is the God way. I believe I've submitted myself that I'm going to do things the biblical way, that I want to ultimately flourish in that. You know what I'm saying? And I know we don't do everything right, or we're not perfect, and we use that as a disclaimer to get away from doing stuff. No. If you want the proper results and you want them, then you ultimately, that's why I can admit myself. When I say I have definitely got potential on the table, it's not me just trying to lock her into a spot. I'm in my mind saying, I am literally saying this has to be a wife or it's not a wife. There's no exceptions. I'm not going to try to lock her life in or just hold on to her for the rest of her life. Just, you know what I'm saying? No. Because we will do that. Let's get clarity. We will do that. You will be my girl. You'll find yourself being my baby mama and everything else. And you got nothing. And now I'm blocking you from who you were supposed to be with my baby in your life now. Liberty baby rocket. You know what I'm saying? So make people be honest and you be sure of yourself. If you're sure that marriage is a call, like you have to be called. That is a thing. That is almost a vocation. Like you have to be called to marriage, to surrender and serve another person completely and expect that they'll serve you and know that they'll serve you the same way. And then, you know what I'm saying? That is not just for everybody. But if you know that that's the heart of you, with Shelly, you're going to be married. That is a part of you. That's makeup from what I've experienced from you. That is a certain thing that's so natural. But you got to be careful not to let somebody over dominate that.
Yes, that's the word that's going around town. But I feel like, let me get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Pastor Henderson is my pastor and you are also my pastor. Allow me to get there. You know what I'm saying? I get it. When people care about you, they don't want you to. Don't let anybody rush. They don't want you to get it. They don't want you to make the wrong move. They don't want you to go the wrong way. But I think it's also important to let people have their separate relationships with God. You have to pastor, right? It's a calling for you to do that. But I think in a sense, you also have to tread that line tread that line too, because again, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know what conversations get had. You don't know what someone's true desire is. And I feel like, a lot of people say, yes, that it's almost like the marriage is kind of like forced upon me. Like, it's like, give me a minute. Let me see. I don't want to end
Hold up.
I don't want the relationship to I don't want to be unhappy. Like the worst thing to me is that you go through all the seasons and the relationships, and you're there and you're having fun, and we're dancing at the marriage, and everybody came to the wedding, and it's a fun ball. And then, they doing your thing. And then, 2 years, 5 years in, you miserable and you wish you never would have did that. To me, I'm like, let me do this right. Let me do this on a path to God, but let me do this.
We're going to stray away from that. No.
Let's stray away from it because we don't agree on it, and that's fine.
No, I wasn't going to disagree with you. I wasn't going to disagree with you. I was going to add in compliments, but that I think there are still women who see the wedding and not understand that that's a difference from the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just the grandiose ball of it all.
Right.
There's life that happens after the date.
Yes.
See,
I
want to get to the next one because we got only a little bit of time.
That last statement, Shelly. I mean, whoever. I'm not just saying it to Shelly, but anybody. Don't you rush. This is not. I know marriage is a thing, but don't you rush something you're not ready for, because you just like one of the things I've experienced myself is divorce. Divorce, when they say, I hear this as a cliche, that it's a death. No. This is a literal death. You've unified yourself, right or wrong, with somebody. And to tear that away is like the epitome of pain I never felt in my life. That is, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, imagine separating yourself from you or your child or somebody that you're unified with. Don't let anybody rush your process. Take your time, but be wise and make wise decisions. You'll be okay. I promise you'll be okay.
Thank you, Lester.
And this is our last one.
Let's go. Good. Let's go.
Sometimes we create our own heartbreaks through expectation.
Oh my God. So that is we do that. I do it. I have to that is a constant deliverance for me because I always want, how you want people to give you back what you'll give them. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I'm a loyalty is a key thing to me. Like, I believe in loyalty. Like, it is a thing. Like, it is something I believe on. And so, sometimes, and I had to learn this. I'm still learning more and more and more about this expectation thing because I want that back. Like, if I give that to you, give and it shall be given back. I'm trying to make it biblical and everything, but people just don't get it back. And I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm causing my own heartbreaks by expecting that back from somebody, which makes me have a thing have a problem inside of me because I'm not doing it because it's genuine. I'm doing it because I have expectation on what they can give me. And so it's not really as kind and as pure as I want to make it because it has an intention. It's intentional. I want it back. And so now I'm trying to make the situation with my expectations so that they will meet what I can get me back. That's not how you're supposed to give. You don't give in contention or because you've been supposed to give freely out of your heart. And that is what God blesses, the seed that is given freely, not the one that's given through pressure or because you expected it. And so I think we need to say that to ourselves a whole lot. Stop expecting you from other people, but it's only because it's a selfish thing that you have inside of you that you want it back. Or are you literally just doing it? Now, if you're doing it, then you won't find the heartbreak. But when they don't do it, it's because you expected it.
Mm-hmm. I think that I've fallen into that. It's like I expect me out of others. It's I would never do this. I would never. How would you do this if I would never? You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times you're like, you want people to treat you the way that you treat them. So it's kind of hard to separate that. It's like, I would never treat you this way. I expect the same back in return. So I don't know. I struggle with that.
Yeah, giving is definitely a selfish thing. I've worked in the floral industry for 20 years, and literally when people send flowers, they have a card message on those flowers, and then if they think that their person didn't get the flowers, they call to complain. They didn't get the flowers, when truly it's just the person didn't call them to say, you know, thank you, I got the flowers, blah, blah, blah. But if you truly were given, you know, from you just trust the fact the flowers got there, they arrived, you got your confirmation, everything is all gravy. But yeah, giving it can be very, very selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I love you. You almost want it back. Like, I love you. Make me say it. You don't get the control making me say it. If you love me, be okay for you to love me because that's how you feel. Why are you not sure in your feeling that? But if you're not sure because you need it to be reciprocated right back so that you feel okay. I love you. Have a good day. Good morning. Well, say it back. Most people on Facebook do that. Say it back. Proclamation, or is it always with the intentions to get something back?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know your love language, Lester?
My love language, yes. I am a words of affirmation person. I mean, I am like, that is like the way I am turned on by weird things. So like what pushes me is
words of
real talk is words of affirmation, intellect, like, you know, and truth. That is a thing for me that if somebody's honest, I don't care how jacked up it is. At least it's honest. To find honest people, not honest like they lie. I'm saying honest that you know who you are. And if you know who you are, man, I don't think that's very rare to find people who are sure in themselves. Mm-hmm. So those are three things for me. But my love language is words of affirmation. That is like, you know, tell me, go ahead. You tell me, babe, that you did an amazing job. Oh my God, you ain't got to tell me go do it again. The words, I'm on my way to make it happen. How fast can I get? I'm sleeping with the pressure and push to go back and do it again. If that's you gonna respond like that to me? Here I come. Here I come. Words of affirmation.
Mine was acts of service. Mm-hmm. I need to get my oil changed, but I got a million things going on. Go take my car for the oil change. Listen, that is like love to me. Don't do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That though. I got a question. Let me ask one question. I know we got to go, but let me ask a question about the acts of service. Shelly, can I ask y'all's too so I can include the question all the way?
Yeah. Yes. Mine is active service too.
Okay, 2. This is going to be very good for me. I need to grow.
I didn't take the quiz, so I don't know what are the options. Acts of service,
words of
affirmation, touch. Yeah. And quality, was it touch and
quality time?
Yeah.
Did we hit them all?
I think
that's only 4, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't.
That's okay. Yeah. What's the question you have?
It's gifts, or like receiving gifts.
Yeah.
I think quality. I don't know. I don't know if I
she would have to take the quiz. That's okay.
Okay, so yeah, she can take the quiz, but the 2, the acts of service. So let me get this back. Okay, so a man wants to be served, right? I'm parenthetically speaking. So he wants to be served, and your love language is acts of service. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tell me, how do you blend the 2? If that's what your thing is, like you, and I understand that, and that is natural, but if will they ever collide? How do you ever see them colliding, like him wanting to be served and you wanting to be served at the same time? How do you ladies deal?
That's different for me. So if my love language is acts of service, I also reciprocate. So if I know you like to be served, I'm going to serve you because that you like that.
Right.
So if you like acts of service too, like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, we can serve each other.
I could give some real life examples. Like, yes, I appreciate it if my husband fills up the gas tank, but I also know that Like, he cooks, but he likes for me to plate the meal, so I don't have a problem with that. Like, he, I don't have a problem serving dinner, or even like, he would rather me give him a pedicure versus going to the nail shop for a pedicure. So there's been instances where I've taken him with me to the nail shop, but he's like, no, I'd rather you be the one giving me the pedicure. I don't have a problem with that, So
Yeah, I think if your love language is something and it differs, or it's the same of the other person's, I think that you have to, if you're gonna take the quiz and play the game, I think you also have to be aware that your partners may be different or the same, so you have to help out.
Meet that. If you're acts of service and I'm acts of service, then I know how to function. Like, for me, I was just a little small thing. My husband loved watching the Bears. So Bears Day, game food. He want, something like, stuff you'll get at a game, like a hot dog or whatever. I'll make a little hot dog menu or a homemade pizza or a taco bar, because that's what he likes. You know what I mean? So it's whatever,
I need to. I got to make sure I get Bears game. I want hot wings. That season right there. I am watching the game. Please, I want to come in the game. What would I get if I was there? But I asked many people. I posted on yesterday. I don't know if you've seen it, but I posted that up. You need to know my love language, because if you don't, you need to know. Forget the language quiz. You need to know how to love me the way I want to be loved. Yeah. Don't just love me because how you want to be loved may not be how I want to be loved. And so if that, because you're looking for that back from me, but that ain't, flowers may not be my thing, or cards. Like I'm a person that, may not, I don't really care for gifts. Like, you don't have to buy me gifts. That's not a big thing to me. Yeah. That doesn't mean I want anything, or you can't bless me or be a blessing to me, but that's not a huge thing to me. And if you always buying me something, you look for me to celebrate you in it, you're probably never going to get the highest out of me with it. I'm going to appreciate you in every way possible, but you're not going to get it. And I think we overlook each other's love language because you want to love how you want to be loved instead of customizing how you offer. Like, what is it? What makes you tick? What is it that, you know what I'm saying? And when you offer that love language, man, I know my love language is not just an in to my heart. It's the out of a situation. So say we have a disagreement. My love language don't change. If you are words of affirmation, I'm not saying you got to tell me how amazing I am, but there's a way to communicate to me, because words matter to me. I can't just throw words around. With me, I am paying attention to all the words you release out your mouth, because that is a place for me. That is I'm connected to words of affirmation. So I just want to actually include that, because too many people overlook their love language, and they settle in it, or they settle offering that, and I don't want the way you want to just love me. I want you to customize it. Love me the way I want to be loved, and I will love you for the rest of my life the way you want to.
I think people have to realize it doesn't take anything away from you to love somebody the way that they should be loved. It doesn't take anything away from you by showing somebody that you care about them the way that they see it. Because you really never know what people go through. You have your love languages for a reason. They're that answer because of things that you've gone through in your past life, the way you see love and the story ending. So I that's a great point.
Yeah. Well, this was
hot. Fun. This will be our longest episode.
I don't know. Maybe we'll break it up, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah. But we can do that with editing. But we definitely appreciate your time. Your words of wisdom.
Thank you so much, Lester. I appreciate you so
breaking
much.
the man code.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in trouble, but we'll be okay.
I'm like, they gonna jump you.
No, remember you're a teddy bear.
Oh, that's all. I'm hiding in my teddy bear. I'm hiding in the peace. Trust me, that is my thing. Peace.
Yeah. So, Lester, leave everybody with your contact information, how they can look at these posts, how they can see you, and tell us about the podcast sure to come.
Okay, so the podcast is coming. It is coming soon. We just had our final meeting to just establish the when and where. So September is going to be our launch month. It is coming up very soon. I mean, September is a hot month. We're actually jumping right into relationship goals conversation. Also in September, we're going to dig right into some hard talks. And you can follow me on any social media, Lester Swims, hashtag Mr. Real Talk. Either one, all those are my tags on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube that's going to be coming. We're going to have a live podcast. It's going to be live in October, the first month. It won't be live, but it will be going live in October. It's going to be on YouTube and Apple and Spotify. We're going to be all over. So it's definitely going to be huge and amazing. Please follow us.
Absolutely. We'll make sure our guests follow you as well. But we definitely want to thank you for your time. It has been excellent.
Yes, it has been. It has been all the things that
Why don't you tell people to your Ruby's location?
Let's talk about that. Come on,
Any Ruby's can y'all hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Any Ruby's location. We have multiple Ruby's locations: Country Club Hills, Riverdale, the West Side, Roseland. Get to one of our Ruby's soul food locations. We got amazing soul food. We cater, we serve because we care. Ruby's. We got what else? Can I shout out the church on here?
Tell us all of it. Tell us all of it.
Follow us every Sunday. We have 8:00 service at 325 South California. Our pastor, Dr. Lawrence Henderson, is an amazing man of God, releasing the word that is life-changing so that we can raise up a kingdom people. Please come by and see us. I'm there every Sunday. It's real talk service. I mean, you go get some work. That's one of our pastor quotes is, I'm about to give y'all some work today. So he coming out. And I believe God is connecting us with you guys also to do some great things. I believe he's building up setting us up to release a word of encouragement, a word of motivation to the people. So hashtag Mr. Real Talk, Lester Swims on all social media. Follow us. And today we'll be at the Southside Gospel Festival. You guys are on the 65th and Racine. I am definitely mentoring there. We have to go up in song. It's going to be a great show. Please come out and support us. Thank you.
Amazing.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank y'all. Don't forget, bring me back. I'm just back.
Oh, absolutely.
Come back.
We were thinking when you launched the podcast, we'd love to have. We saw your rooftop talk, so that was some good stuff right there.
So maybe we'll just launch them on one day. We'll do both of them together at the same time. You guys can get it. We'll get it. A big party, but I definitely we're gonna have a launch party, so I want y'all there for sure, please.
Oh, absolutely. Just send us the details.
All right, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
And we're back. That was really good.
So you guys are able to see like what goes on, what kind of conversations that we have, and it's not always the white picket fences and flowers. That's okay.
Hey, when you're real friends, you're gonna have real talk. Like that's the real talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have those conversations because it's life, you know?
Yeah, it is. And it was definitely very good to see it from a male's perspective. And I definitely see that there's some tug and pull with things that they do, but they do it for a reason.
Yeah.
They have good reasoning, I think, behind why they handle relationships the way that they do. And they're people like we are. They don't want to be hurt, you know.
Men can definitely be guarded and all of those things.
Yeah.
Little teddy bears.
Yeah.
Right. They're usually
lions on the
their
outside.
bark is
louder than their bite.
Yeah.
So,
but you gotta love them.
yes. Relationships. We'll definitely be bringing more of that to you guys because that is a hot button topic, and it's a lot to uncover there. Relationships could be anything. It could be relationships with your family, relationships with your friends, relationships with your significant other. So it's a lot there to unpack.
It is.
So
and good that we had this episode after our Black Women in Therapy episode. Because it's like, I don't know, I think everybody's point of view, like people have a reason for feeling the way that they feel. Hear them out. Yeah, you got your reason. Yeah, you might be, like set and why you feel that way. And it's just good to have these conversations, build good relationships with the people that you love and you care about. Listen to them, you know, hear them out.
Absolutely.
But like one of his Lester's quotes say, you can't be your own therapist.
You cannot be your own therapist.
You cannot. But that's my point. That's why I said you have good relationships with the people that you love and that you care about, because you don't want to be therapeutic to just yourself. That's why everybody's input is important.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And she always be thinking somebody is disagreeing with her.
I don't always think that's not even you saying that. That's not you saying that. I don't always think that people are disagreeing. I'm just saying. I'm just, getting it out there.
Yeah, re-empathize. Bringing it out. Bringing it. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't know if this is going to be one episode split into two. You'll find out.
Yeah. We got to do our business. Well, Lester was our business, but I definitely want to make sure that we do another business. So it might have to be a two-parter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, more to come.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us, and as always, keep it brewing.